kids can be expensive. Being a woman in general is also very expensive. Hi Mustleclub, this is Gabriella and I'm here talking about all things motherhood, motivation, money, and side hustles. So I wanted to come to you and give you guys an update. I know I have not been posting consistently, but I really want to ramp up everything because honestly, at the end of the day, I have always been a hustler. I've always been trading time for money, and I get to the point where I'm trading less and less time for more and more money. However, the things that I'm doing are not things that can be they're not things that can turn into passive income at this time, basically. So even though I'm trading less time and getting more money, I'm still having to trade in my time. And I like to spend my time with my daughter first and foremost. Kids can be expensive. Being a woman in general is also very expensive. And, I'm just trying to find out the best way that I can care for her and care for myself without breaking the bank. I know that on this channel I do talk about my unconventional ways of budgeting and taking care of my finances. If you're interested in those type of strategies, definitely make sure to check out my other videos. But specifically in this video, I did want to talk about how much money I made as a notary public since I was a notary public for a year. So I was a notary public from May 5th of 2021 until May 5th of 2022, and I actually did let my licensure lapse. I went through all of the training to do notary republic and loan signing agent, and basically I got down to negative numbers. I did not make my initial investment back, and I will totally break down why that happened. Before I do that though, this video isn't sponsored, but this is something that I absolutely love. And I mean, if they did want to sponsor me, then one day that would be cool. But I love drinking kombucha in the morning with my daughter. This is Brew Doctor's ginger lemon kombucha. So if you see me sipping something, that's what it is. But back into the reasons why I did not make my initial investment back. So I originally decided that I was going to become a notary so I could be a loan signing agent and do remote loan signings. So I went through all of the training. The training for the initial notary through Nevada honestly took me like a day. It was pretty easy. Then after that, I did the loan signing agent training through the NNA, and that took me about like 2 or 3 days just because I was being a little bit lackadaisical. And after I finished that, I got signed on with Notarize, and then just $5 for each online notary and kind of like waiting around to take the calls. I was just like not super motivated to do that. And then signing up for the different agencies to go do actual loan signings while this was still like kind of pandemic-y, and I still had she was about 8 months, I think, when I first got this job, or when I first started this gig. So I didn't really feel like the reward was as good as it seemed, and I probably should have done a little bit more research to begin with, but I figured that it was actually a lot easier for me to just go and do my regular job. And while I was doing, which is a flight attendant, I do that for the health insurance, and I work around 8 days or less a month. So I figured it would actually be easier for me to either work a little bit more there or to just pick up doing D-Scouts, which is like online focus groups. But ultimately, because I have an unconventional way of managing my money and I pay my bills by the year most of the time, I wasn't like in a huge rush to have to do that. And I did a couple notarizations here and there. I did some for like friends as well, and at the end of the day I was just like, you know what, this is not something that I want to do. So at the end of a year of being a notary, I'm still in the negative because I did not make my initial investment back. I want to say that some of the things that you should think about before becoming a licensed notary or a loan signing agent or notary for your state is definitely the modality in which you want to do it. Do you want to be a remote notary? Do you want to try to get signed on for a bank? Do you want to try to do it for a mortgage company? Do you want to work in-house and get paid hourly to do it, or do you want to just be like contracted out? Do you want to mainly focus on it as your business, or is it going to be like your side hustle? And are you trying to do it mainly from your home? Are you just trying to do it for friends and family? And how hard are you going to like hustle and dedicate to that? Also, if you do have kids, you have to factor in the point of childcare. So if you have children that are not school aged, and you're staying home with them now, is that additional cost of childcare going to put you in the hole? So I think that those are all things that should be considered before you take any sort of side gig or side hustle. Um, but ultimately for me, it didn't make a lot of sense. Especially when I would be doing some D-Scouts or anything on like Respondent, where I could get $50 to $100 in an hour. And yes, that is less rare. Um, well, I'd say it's more rare than I guess the loan signings are, because of all of the refinances and like the homes that are selling. But at the same time, if I was plugging in my time to doing that, I was able to make a substantial amount of money during that time, anywhere from around $500 to $700 a month, just kind of doing focus groups. It did take a bit of hustle, but at the same time, I was at home cuddling with my baby, didn't have to worry about paying someone $10, $15, $18 an hour to watch her, and I was still able to be present. So that was one of my side hustles that I was able to do that helped me just stay home with my daughter as long as possible. I am still home with my daughter the majority of the time throughout the week, because I try to only work on the weekends when her dad is home, and I'm able to do that because I worked for my airline so long that I have the seniority and power over my schedule, which is absolutely beautiful. So I say all this to say that I love all of the loan signing agents and remote online notaries that I was watching on YouTube and learning from them. I'm definitely not the one to learn from, but I did want to be really transparent in the fact that I don't think that it's for everyone, and I don't necessarily think that it's the greatest gig for single parents of young children. Now, there could be someone that proves me wrong, but as far as my experience went, I would not recommend being a loan signing agent or a remote online notary um, to single parents of young children, unless you have more support than I do, like maybe a stable grandmother or grandfather that's able to stay home and watch them and make sure that it can be quiet. Um, like, I mean the environment, not your child, but the like it as in the environment can be quiet, and you can make sure you can get all of your online notaries done peacefully, or that they can watch your kid while you're on the go. Another reason that I will say I don't necessarily believe that it's the best, or at least it wasn't for me, is because lots of the times when you have these signings that you have to go out for, they may or may not be scheduled like really far in advance or with enough notice in general. And when you have to factor that in, it honestly just creates an extra layer of stress. And for me, any sort of extra stress is just not worth it. I already have like other side gigs where I can schedule them up to a month in advance, and I personally just feel like those type of things are easier and more conducive to my life and the scheduling of my daughter's life as well, because I can schedule it around her appointments, my appointments, and my other jobs. So I am a field agent, or like a field inspector, if you will, and I will go into that in another video as well. So definitely like hit like and subscribe if you like this sort of content. I am trying to be very just like open and honest with my experience in making money, because not all these things are going to make like a ton of money. You can make more money than I do. Personally, I would rather live a soft single mom life than like let's go wreck it and get like, you know, be a millionaire tomorrow. Just because my daughter is so young, I wasn't trying to dedicate a ton of time into like hustling really hard. Now realizing that I've been doing this for a while now, and I've kind of like been in a state of stagflation. Yes, I'm making more money, but could it be exponentially more? Exponentially more. Okay? Yes, it could. And it honestly just requires me to put in more consistency, more time, and more effort. So those are going to be my goals. I'm definitely going to start a series on the soft single mom life, because I think that we deserve a soft life as well. And just because you don't have a man or somebody else providing for you, in a traditional sense, one, doesn't mean that they can't provide for you in an untraditional sense, and two, doesn't mean that you can't also live a soft life where, you know, you're relaxed and at peace and you can be the best mom possible for your child, because, you know, everything is just a little bit less stressful. So that's honestly what I'm trying to do, and one of the biggest things I need to do is a routine. So again, definitely like and subscribe for more videos. And that is why I personally don't recommend being a loan signing agent or an online notary if you are a single mama of young children. So thanks for watching. That's how much money I made. None, really. I'm in the negative, and probably like $900 in the negative. But it was fun. It was fun. I wanted to try it. I did, so I'm not mad. Learn from me. I hope this helped. Bye.